Hello everybody, Jordan here, the PH is silent. I wanted to talk about the Empires of the Sands, or also known as the Lands of Intrigue. It's a region south of Waterdeep that contains three nations, Tethyr, and Calimshan. There was a lot of info to sift through, so let's see how far we can get in this video. This area has been home to native human tribes since the elves arrived on Faerun a millennia ago. During these early centuries, the land was ruled by elves, dwarves, giants, dragons, and even goblins for a short period of time. The beginning of is closely tied to that of Calimshan, which is currently a region south of Before came to be, it was Calimshan, which was controlled by tribes that covered most of the region. Calimshan began colonizing every place that it could, expanding into present-day Tethyr and It was Tethyr that fought back against Calimshite rule, and after several decades of fighting and negative 288 DR, Calimshan's Pasha, which is kind of like a king, granted the Tethyrians independence rather than continuing to lose soldiers. With Tethyr cutting the north and Calimshan in two, it opened up the north to become its own area known as This is the precursor for the upcoming Age of Shewn. Calimshan knew that they couldn't win a war against Tethyr, so they attempted to politically take over. After marrying into the royal families of Tethyr, a terrible accident occurred, and most of the family died in negative 6 DR, leaving behind a grandchild to rule Tethyr. Kalashite troops, advisors, and viziers were sent to help this young king rule Tethyr. Because of this puppet ruler, the Pasha over Calimshan soon controlled most of the clans and lands in Tethyr. He even destroyed a neighboring city, Ithmong, putting its uprising citizens into slavery, and he took apart the city stone by stone, moved that stone to a new location, and used it to build another city, a new capital in the south called Shewnach. This began the 6th age of the Shewn Imperium. 27 DR to 450 DR became known as the 6th Age of Calimshan, also known as the Age of Shewn. In 4 short centuries, the Imperium controlled lands originating from Calimshan far to the north and south. As far north as the river Cheonthar, along the Snowflake Mountains, past the Shining Sea, and as south as Tashalar. It was during this time that a paranoia about wizards started to circulate. Anyone known to practice magic was hunted down and slain. Wizards were allowed to practice magic if it was in service to the state. Rogue magic users were considered a threat and eliminated. The fall of the Shewn Imperium occurred in 450 DR, with another uprising from Tethyr. Joined in wanting freedom from Shewn rule, and for an entire summer the two fought to overthrow the Shewn Imperium with some success. The leader of the Shewn Imperium proposed a duel between himself and the king of Tethyr. The Shewn leader poisoned the king of Tethyr during the duel, which obviously angered the people of Tethyr. This led to Prince Strom, the son of the Tethyrian king, to organize a plan in killing every Shewn loyalist until the Imperium fell. While the people of Shewnach, the capital of the Shewn Imperium, reveled in the death of the Tethyr king, Strom's soldiers infiltrated the city and hid. When everyone was in place, they struck out in unison, killing every Shewn loyalist until there were no more. With the head of the Shewn Imperium destroyed, the areas it controlled swiftly fragmented, and came into being. By 460 DR, the western emirate of Amin became the country of under King Esmil Torlath, who is an ex-Shewnite general and native to the area. Many Shewnite loyalists migrated to and the small country grew more than twice its size in 150 years. At this point has 3 major city-states west of Lake Esmil: Athkalta, Cremor, and Moran. But the fantastic Esmeltaran became the capital when it was completed in the reign of Esmil's grandson, King Imnel. It took another 150 years to completely conquer the lands to the east, but reached its current borders by the late 760s. Could be seen as being built overnight. It rose very quickly, and it did so with money from trade. By the year 1182 DR, completed the great trade roads which connected it with Baldur's Gate, Dragonspear Castle, and Waterdeep. It furiously expanded trade with the north and partnered with Tethyr and Calimshan. With money comes power, and the major problem that erupted during these years was a number of wizard schools and isolated conjurers practicing interesting magic. No one today remembers the specifics, but many a monster or plague was unleashed due to the influence of wizards. The consequences live on today. The people of have no tolerance for magic users, and wizards are looked at with great suspicion. Government changed drastically by the 1330s. Ruled by a royal family, the king had turned into a puppet that was being influenced by the city-states and their personal agendas. By 1306 DR, Their heir to the throne died from poisons at the hands of his vizier. This sparked a trade war as wealthy houses were vying for power. There was sabotage, assassinations. These houses were more or less at war with one another. Then a young merchant had the insight to create a council. Thay's Calimshan did not want this trade war to hurt his profits, so he coerced 5 other merchant houses to form a council of 6 that would rule To compel the public into compliance, he spread rumors of an elven invasion, or attacks from Waterdeep, or pirates, and that the people needed government protection. This worked, and the council dropped their family names to lessen the family rivalries within They dumped much of their personal fortune into creating a government treasury, but that was quickly made back with fees and tariffs after the government was put in place. The Council of 6 promised to reunite the country, rule for all the families rather than just wealthy favorites, and restore peace that would increase profits. It took 1 year, and the council was now the accepted government of complete with a militia able to oppose groups that resisted it. Within 5 years, the council was unbreakable, and provided a huge asset to neighboring cities, aiding Waterdeep with armies to fight against hordes of orcs, Beatazu, and other ungodly creatures that were pouring out of Dragonspear Castle. And that's where we'll end it today. More to talk about on the Empires of the Sands. Next week, I'll discuss more on their lifestyle, their culture, and probably some specifics on cities. Please give a like if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching.